Literary elements. Theme. Please make sure to have your notes downloaded from Schoology prior to listening to this PowerPoint. Your theme notes are missing some words. You will read each definition and fill in the blank lines with the red text that completes each part. So as we go through, if you need to pause this video to take notes, please do. Let's get started. The big question is, what is theme? Well, theme is an idea about life or human nature that an author is trying to share with readers. Sometimes if we don't understand what theme is, we look at what it is not to help us have a better understanding. Theme is not just a one-word topic. It must be stated in sentence form. So if you think back, a lot of times in class we brainstorm about, what do you think the theme is? Oh, the theme is about survival or love or friendship. In this case, those are universal themes. Those are just topics that help us really dig deeper into what a theme really is. Those topics are very important, and you mustn't ignore those topics. They are the important ideas that will get us to what the theme really is. A theme is not just directly stated. The author doesn't just say at the end of the book what he or she wanted you to learn from the novel or from the story. So what we need to do is we need to infer or make an inference based on the details in the book. Unless you're reading a fable. Now, a fable will tell you what you should learn by the end of the book. They call it the moral or the message. And this is not the theme. This is different. So let's take a peek and let's give it a try. One strategy that you can use is called the SLIME strategy. It's actually an acronym. So each letter stands for something different. S-L-I-M-E. So let's take a look at the letter S. S is the subject. So the first thing you're going to ask yourself is, what is the subject or that topic of the story? Now dig deep and think about life when you're choosing this topic or subject. That's kind of like what I was just saying about maybe the big topic is about survival. Well, that's just the topic. And yes, it's very important. The next thing you need to pull out is L, the lesson. So you're going to ask yourself, what lesson does the main character learn about the subject or topic? Or what does the reader learn from the character's experiences? So let's say, for example, going back to the S, you think your subject is on survival. Then you next ask yourself, what lesson does the main character learn about survival? And we're not quite done yet. So let's figure out what that I and that M means. The I stands for idea and the M stands for message. So next you're going to ask yourself, what idea or message is the author sharing about the topic? And when you can figure this out, you've got yourself a theme. So for example, you would ask yourself, what is the author sharing about survival? What do they want us to know? And then lastly is your evidence. What evidence supports this theme? So you will need to find 2 to 3 specific details to help you answer that question or help you support that theme. What we should not do is state the theme as a cliche. And a cliche is something that you hear over and over and over, something that most people say. It's like a saying, right? So for example, here it says the theme is, it's a small world. That's a cliche. That's something that we've heard of in life. And cliches, like this little guy says here, make me sleepy because they're not creative and they're overused as stated here. Another tip is do not make the theme sound like a command. It is an observation about life. So for example, Never judge a book by its cover, or bossy people make me sleepy. So, some common topics in literature that you may have heard of before that we've talked about in class are acceptance, courage, trust, compassion, kindness, cooperation, loss, power, fate. There are so many more themes that we've talked, or common topics that we've talked about in class. These are just to name a few. We're going to give it a try. We're going to see if we can figure out together the theme of this next story. This story is called The Shepherd Boy and the Wolf. A bored shepherd boy who watched a flock of sheep near a village entertained himself 3 or 4 times by crying out, "Wolf, wolf!" When the villagers rushed to help him, he laughed at them for their pains. The villagers were good, hard-working people with families to feed. They had no time for nonsense. They vowed to never again believe the shepherd boy. Like he says over here, "Oh, that kid's a liar." One night, however, the wolf did truly come at last. The shepherd boy, now really alarmed, shouted in agony and terror, "Please, come and help me. The wolf is here. The wolf is killing the sheep." Well, you can only imagine what the village people said. The villagers thought the shepherd was pulling one of his tricks. No one paid any heed to his cries. No one rendered any assistance. The wolf knew he was in luck, as no one was coming after him. He destroyed the whole flock at his leisure. The shepherd boy could only watch in horror and in despair. The shepherd boy lived to be an old man. He never again lied, as he hoped to someday regain the trust of the villagers. It took many years and much hard work, but he eventually became one of the wisest, most responsible men in the village. And that ends our story. So let's take a peek using our strategy of slime, starting with the letter S. We're going to ask ourselves, what is the subject or topic of the story? The subject or topic of the story. After taking a minute to think about it, maybe some of you said, well, the topic or the story of the story is all about wolves. Or maybe you said the topic or the story is about shepherds. That sounds to me like that's something or who the story is about, but not what the main topic is. So let's think about the topic. If we dug deeper, the topic is actually trust. Now that we know the topic, we're going to dive into the letter L and ask ourselves, well, what does the main character learn about the topic of trust? Or what does the reader learn from the character's experiences? So if we dig deeper into that, we find out that the shepherd boy learns that people distrust him because he lied. That's what the character learned. And we're still not done. So we're going to move into the I and the M. We're going to ask ourselves, what idea or message is the author sharing about the topic? Perhaps the author is trying to say people don't believe a liar, or even when he speaks the truth. Lastly, the letter E is evidence. What evidence from the story supports that people don't believe a liar even when he speaks the truth? Well, one part of the story said after the shepherd boy lied to them, the villagers showed to never believe him again. And when the wolf did come, the villagers thought the boy was lying again. Lastly, it took years of hard work for them to start believing him again. So let's review. Theme is an idea about life or human nature that an author is trying to share with readers. Themes need to be inferred or guessed, and the theme is not a one-word topic. Using what we just learned about slime, the S is what subject or topic about life does the story touch upon? What lesson does the main character or you as the reader learn about the topic? I am, what idea or message about life is the author trying to share? and E, what evidence supports the theme. Now it's your turn. You are going to practice doing this strategy on your own. Make sure that you download the next story and then upload your answers into Schoology. Your story will be called The House of a Thousand Mirrors. It's just a quick story, and then what you'll do is you'll use the graphic organizer to help you figure out the SLIME.